Well, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing okay, better than I was a couple days ago.
That's good. Yeah, we just had a snow day here, and it ruined my kids' ski trip, so they were all bummed today. And hopefully, they're gonna like find another day to do it. But yeah, so
Cool. Well, congratulations on the last challenge there. You're able to finally get a
it,
win.
finally, yeah, it's been you got three in a row, so it's about time I picked one up. So yes, our Viking challenge, my Viking ship with the hidden cubby sailed to victory. I was very happy. I was super happy with the way it turned out. Um, so I was giddy showing like we had guests over. I'm like, oh God, check this out, and like twist the mast and pop it up. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome.
So is it your
Uh,
butter dish now? Is that where you have it? Let me get some
Scott,
butter.
that would be weird.
What what are you using it for now?
It's downstairs on my shelf too.
Oh,
To
it's
mark
not
it
even
right
on
now.
a trophy case or anything?
No, no, I don't. It's sitting with the losing lighthouse side by side, getting ready for fall markets. So I figure if
Yeah.
I left it up here, it would probably get knocked over and broken because it's fun to play with. So we would
Yes, you get
it's
play with.
like the bat that lost. It was up for Halloween, but yeah, the button got pushed quite a bit, and so
Speaking of trophies and everything, I did want to introduce something new. Um we have now a I don't want to call it a loser's trophy. We're going to call it a try again trophy. So
try a
the
grand trophy.
the person between us who doesn't win that one gets to have the trophy in the back of all of their stories or whatever, where they're doing some stuff and it's in their shop. And the point of it is going to be to add to it as time goes on, memories and things of the things that we've learned, aka the challenges that we've lost, and then it'll get uglier and uglier as it goes
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say like the one part you failed at there was it was supposed to be an ugly trophy, and you actually it looks quite nice. You did a good job with it.
well, yeah, it looks like something right now. It's kind of like a ball on a
Yes.
thing. It looks like a thing. So
We
yeah,
will consistently make it uglier and uglier.
yes,
Now, here's my question because, like, yeah, I know they can't see it. It's got two rings, one of steel, and then going in the other direction, one of copper.
yep.
Do I have to attach my pieces to the copper?
No, no, I don't think you have to do
Okay.
anything. If you did want to attach them to the steel, or you wanted to attach them to the wood base, I think the thing is we want to try to keep it contained, and so it doesn't grow too big too quickly. Like I don't want your lighthouse on top of this thing. Uh,
But the whole lighthouse, no, no,
yeah. But
that's okay.
a piece of it.
That was in the past. You get the honor of putting the first piece on.
I do.
And what's it going
I
to
do.
be?
It's going to be a little shield. I turned a washer into a little shield, much like my Viking shield. And
You know what you should do? You should take a hacksaw and cut a big crack in it so it's like
ooh, that's
split.
actually a good idea. Yeah. So it looks like a cracked shield.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You know, this failing shield that you have, all makes sense.
I could just put a
See,
post-it
had
note on it.
mine, on that rare occasion, had mine been the loser, I could have like built a small boat and broken it in half so it's like sinking. Little half
Yeah.
the Titanic.
I also don't want to spend too much time on
Okay,
a
that's fair.
putting more of my time into the challenge that's at hand right now, because it was the one that's currently coming up is our fierce courage, has yet to been voted on. So we really liked doing Wild City over a year ago. Both of us kind of pushed a little bit of our boundaries in the artistic thing. So we were like, yeah, let's do that again. And we got really excited and we kind of bounced ideas back and forth and came up with the inspiration of fierce courage. And then it was too artsy for me. I don't know. My brain
Too
went all
artsy
over the
for
place. Yeah, I couldn't pin something down, and then when I because basically the bottom line for me is once you come up with what you want to build, then it's can I actually build that? Right? Can I?
absolutely. I and I wouldn't say that it was too artsy for you, but you did have a hard time getting that idea, and we've both run into that. Not necessarily on all of the challenges. If
Yeah.
you don't have that spark of yes, here's my idea, and I am going to do my utmost to build it. And it's not even like there's sometimes that you bail on that idea and come up with another one because it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I did have one idea that it was like I just don't actually know with the skills that I have right now how I would make the metal do that. I know it's possible because people make that type of stuff, but they have a full machine shop or full fabrication shop and that's what they do every day. You know,
yeah,
I'm working outside in -10-degree weather trying to, you know, finesse TIG weld stuff together. My hands are falling off.
yeah, it's been a little bit cold. I was absolutely looking forward to the warmer months for the next few challenges. So what did you end up with?
I ended up with a baby bird jumping out of a nest, leaving the nest in that sort of like stepping into the unknown type of thing. The baby bird, I was
Ooh, there's your
inspired by
song to put on the back of your the story is Into the Unknown. Like
Into the
the
Unknown. I thought you were going to say Freebird. I'm like, I don't want to put Freebird on the back.
oh no. A little
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
Frozen
A
2.
little Frozen too. Yeah, that's not bad.
Sorry.
But the bird was challenging because I wanted a 3D bird. Like a 2D bird, I'm pretty sure I could pound out. But by the
Well,
time
you
you
just
get like,
plasma cut that.
yeah, and you know feathers, you can. But a 3D bird, I was like, oh, how am I going to do that? And I was inspired by the people who make critters out of silverware,
Yep.
and they take a spoon and whatever. So I was like, I can get the roundness of the spoon. I can make a spoon. So I made a
I
whole bunch
can
of
make a
spoons.
spoon.
Well, yeah, I can make a
Yeah,
spoon.
yeah.
So I, took my fly press out and was making spoon shaped things, and I even put texture in them and stuff, and was like, I had a clay model that I was building it off of. And it was a lot of unknown. I built a lot of pieces and kind of had it all, somewhat scaled out in my head. And a couple days ago, I went to put it all together and just couldn't. Again, it was -10. And I was trying to like TIG weld, and I couldn't feel my fingers. TIG welding, by the way, is like, I don't know. I don't even know how to like anything else that I've done that's that tedious. Kind of like soldering. Very much like soldering with a very fine tipped heat source, I guess, where
Yeah.
nothing
Like
can
electronics on
move. Yeah, electronic soldering. And very much instead of like, I don't know, welding is like hot, MIG welding is like hot glue gunning. TIG welding, I feel like I have to lean close and get close to it, and so a lot of and I spent an entire day, and all I did was destroy all of the things that I had. So I didn't
That
know I
sucks.
was going to get this one done. I didn't. I was very un. If you talked to me on Monday
Unsure.
night, I would have been. But I turned it around the next day. I actually got a thing done, and he's actually quite cute. The proportions of a baby bird are interesting because they're not bird-like. They're kind of, too big for their body. I guess is that or their bodies. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's
Yeah.
like puppies have like their feet are way too big for the
Yeah.
rest of their body. Yeah, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
all babies. They have to grow into it.
Yeah.
So
So
here's a question: is there any TIG welding in the finished piece, or is it all MIG?
completely all MIG welded. I completely abandoned the TIG welding in the cold. And then by the time I got into working on the finished piece, I'd spent so much time doing it, and I'd screwed it up so hard that I was like, I just don't have the finesse to do it. I just need it done. So, um, I be the first one to admit that somebody needs to show me something on TIG welding. It's beyond a skill that I think I'm going to teach myself at this point. So,
I'm sure you'll get there. Okay, here. Scale of 1 to 10. How happy are you with your final product?
own worst critic,
Own worst critic,
7.5.
7. All right, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. How about you? What'd you do?
Well, so my original idea, because we were discussing terms to for the art piece, we are going, what we had like fake, genuinely fake, and all these things, and finally you had suggested fierce courage, so I was throwing it around my head, and the thing that popped, and the reason why I really liked the idea, and I agreed we go with it, is I thought like a kid, a toddler sitting in bed, you know, holding a teddy bear, and the monster under the bed coming out from underneath, and being brave enough to face that teddy bear. And it just really, I couldn't think of anything more fiercely courageous than that.
Yep.
And so that's where the road I started down. Now, part of sitting in bed and coming out, that's less courageous. So then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll have the kid like looking under the bed to find it. And that got into some like, okay, I'm not an artist or a sculptor. I'm not sure I can get the proportions of somebody kneeling on the ground holding a teddy bear right. I think it would just look off.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, no monster under the bed. Where's the monster? In the closet. And then I can just have the kid standing up. So that's what I went with. So it ended up being a small child again holding a teddy bear and reaching towards a slightly open closet door. And then on the other half of the piece behind the door is a ghost, because that was, the easiest monster that I could come up with making, really.
It wasn't going to be Mike Wazowski on the other side. Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. No, that would have been cool, but no. I had to be able to make these things. So yeah, it turned out really, really nice, because the wall I've made really splits the front from the back, so I can look at one half of it, and you just see a small kid looking at a door that's opening. And I didn't clean the wall like pristinely, like it's brass, but it has a lot of the flame marks from doing all the annealing. And I cleaned up front half, but there's still so it looks like a little bit of a well-used wall, because
Right.
I don't know about you, but walls of my kids' bedrooms are gross. like like especially around like the light switch, where like
Yeah.
like you have all the handprints
Yeah.
on the floor. So that's got a bit of feeling. And then the backside where the ghost is inside the closet, I left it really, rough, and lots of the flame scale and stuff like that. So it's got that darker feel to it. And you can slowly rotate the piece, and you can see the ghost a little bit through the open door. But yeah,
Is you going to have it on a lazy Susan, like constantly rotating? Or...
constantly rotating. I know there's an angle, like, because I've got everything twisted a little bit, so you can look at it from one side, and you can
Okay.
see the ghost and you can see the kid, or you can look at it straight on. There's a couple perspectives, but one of the things I've found with it, and what I'm really happy, like, I find, I get an emotion from looking at it, what you got from the lighthouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like I have successfully garnered an emotion out of this, so I'm like really excited about that part.
That's cool, eh? When you're like, yeah, it feels there's a thing behind it, something more than just the piece, um, to do it, and you to actually make like your ghost is kind of work like you have done before, repoussé and chasing and stuff of a
Yeah,
ghost.
it's just your regular beating work to shape it around. It's almost like a piece of aluminum, because the ghost made out of aluminum, folded in half, and then like put some texture in it. So it's kind of like something holding up the sheet sort
Right.
of idea. So it's fairly simple.
And the other two figures you have, your little teddy bear and copper kid, you actually cast those, so you're starting to get into some things that you haven't done before. And I
Absolutely. Well, like I have done, like we did a whole challenge on casting, so we have
yeah.
done it. But I've casted. I think if you consider the teddy bear and the small child as two separate castings, which they were, I've cast 4 times now. Go me. um, but yeah, the teddy bear was interesting, because I originally wanted to make the teddy bear out of aluminum too, because I have some aluminum, and aluminum melts a little bit easier. and it's winter. I didn't want to get the whole foundry out, and I was worried about cold shock and a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, well, I can do this in a small crucible with a propane torch.
Yep.
No, I can't do it in a small crucible with a propane torch.
Can't pour pro and it doesn't get her.
No, I could melt the aluminum, but I couldn't get it hot enough to break the skin when it's liquid.
Yeah.
It would roll around in the crucible, kind of like mercury.
Yeah.
I believe I think it's the meniscus is the skin, I think. So yeah, like I actually got it melting and rolling around, and I poured it on top of the mold, and it just sat as a ball. It didn't go down the hole and fill the mold at all. So I switched over to tin, which melts even lower, and I've done that in the cold, and that's not a problem. So I cut up some pure tin solder and melted it, and it poured beautifully.
So you, as a tinsmith, you actually have tin in this project.
Oh yes,
Wow.
I find now that most of my products at least have two metals. This one has four because go big or
Why
go
not?
home.
Yeah.
Like the ghost is aluminum, the teddy bear is tin, the child is brass. Sorry, the child is copper, and the wall is all brass. So, which is technically copper
and tin.
and tin, or
Tin?
copper and yeah, I think it's copper and tin.
Yeah.
And then bronze is copper
Bronze
and
is
tin,
copper.
I think. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, and then the kid was like, you know, originally I wanted to forge it the same way I did the hull, or the keel of the Viking ship, but it was too cold out, and it was getting fiddly, and it wasn't working, and it was annoying me. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll cast it. And so I got out the foundry and I preheated everything. Like I started with a crucible filled with copper in my oven at like 450 for an hour to get it fairly warm, and then I got the foundry going outside, and I picked it up, I took it out of the oven, put it right in the foundry, and it melted beautifully.
I'm sure
I
your
had
family. I can picture you going through your house with your like tongs, and you're like,
I made sure all the kids were occupied somewhere, so no one's going to get in my way as I'm walking through with this
yeah.
hot thing. Sorry, pardon me. And then yeah, so I heated everything up. I made three wooden figures to use for casting. So when you're casting with sand, your casting block splits into two, and so I filled half with one and a half the wooden feet kids, and then I packed sand around it, and then you put the other half on it, and then you complete the mold and put sand on top of it, casting sand, obviously, which
Why?
is got
Why?
a bit of.
Why didn't you? Why two-piece mold? I was thinking about this because I heard the issues you had. Why two-piece mold? Why couldn't you like have an open face one? Put the piece on the table, put the mold over top, put the box over top, put the casting sand in, press it down, and then just I realized the back of the person would have been flat, like it would have had a 90-degree angle, but you had to file and everything on this kid anyway. Would it? Is there an easier?
I'm sure there is, because I don't have a lot. Like, if anybody's listening to this who knows about casting, I'm sure they're laughing their bejeebers off at how badly I do this. But if it's not flat on one side, so you take half the casting box and you put your piece down and you put sand, the casting sand, and you have to pack it in so it's nice and hard.
Yeah,
But if it's not flat on the bottom, the sand will actually go slightly underneath it. And when you flip
yeah.
it over, pulling out that wooden model would rip the hole apart,
But
and you
but
wouldn't
if you
have the
just made your
edges.
wooden model, I'm just thinking for if we're trying to do a bigger piece like a person, if I was going to do it, if you kept the back of the model flat so it did pull out easier, and all
Yeah,
because I'm just picturing like half round on the front basically is where like the arm would be half round on the front, the
half
legs
round,
half
and then the
round,
back would flat.
the head would be half half a circle or three-quarters of a circle but flat in the back, enough metal in it that you could file it down to the shape and then give it, because then you could give it arms out here more, they wouldn't have to be,
Straight down.
I don't know.
I think then the problem, I think, becomes, and this is what I've thought about, is getting the mold back out by cutting it in half and then putting pegs through it.
Right.
I pack it in. When I flip it over, the second half has the pegs that'll go into those holes. You then put the second half of the box on, pack sand around it. When you lift that up, one half, whichever half is better packed, stays in the mold, and the other half has the void, and then you've got something to grab to pull out that
Right.
first model without wrecking the hole.
Right.
But again, I'm sure there are better ways to do it than I've been doing it. But
Because you started
yeah,
with 3 of these.
I made 3 because I know from our first casting extravaganza, they don't all turn out. And I didn't want to have to like heat multiple times because of the temperature shock and whatnot. So I carved 3 little children, and I could get them all. I got 2 into one box, 1 into another, and I poured all 3. One was a complete failure. It didn't even the completely fill, so it ended up in 2 chunks. One looked really good until I rolled it over and one leg was missing. There's a big bubble that happened in the middle of the leg, so it wasn't there. And then the last one actually turned out really well, so I'm glad I made 3, because had I only made 2, apparently I wouldn't have been able to do this.
The one-legged child did not speak to you.
Yeah, our little war ant.
Wasn't more fiercely courageous?
Well, I'm sure it would have been, but
yeah. So,
yeah,
same question. Scale 1 to 10. How happy with it are you?
I'm really happy with it. Like, worst critic, I can look at it and I'm like, ooh, that could have been better. This could have been better. I could have done this. Blah 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 blah. I would give it an 8.6.
Ooh.
Maybe 8.7. How I'm feeling, right? The Russian judge is always a little bit harsher.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so no, really happy. So I think I got a good shot. Now, obviously, getting the right photo, I think I'm gonna have to have a little video so you can sort of see everything. But
and for everybody out there who wants to see these, you can go to our Instagram at Brothers and Smithing. You can follow along in stories because both Kipling and I put up stories, and you can kind of see us building it and talking about them as we're going through the process. But then on February 27th, we're going to put up in our stories a voting for this, so you'll see both of them in the stories, and you'll be able to vote for your favorite one, which will clearly be mine, but you can follow along and see the posts and all the pictures and everything like that as well.
Absolutely. You can also check us out on Brothers and Smithing TikTok as well. It'll be up there as well. So you can vote on either one.
Expanding our horizons into the...
I know, it's crazy. Joining the TikTok. I'm too old to really understand the TikTok. I'm old enough. You're too old for whatever the platform is when you put the in front.
I was going to say when you call it the TikTok. Yeah. Yeah. So do follow along, and we really appreciate anybody's comments and votes and stuff on that, because really this is all just for fun, and it's just so me and Kipling can grow and have a chance to make something that, because honestly, neither of us would have made this. There's no way.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But I'm glad I did. It was a lot of fun. So do check us out on Brothers and Smithing and vote for mine. Because, there's a child in it and a teddy bear.
Okay, I got a question for you.
And a wall.
No, that's the reason, the wall.
I know.
I have a ghost and a wall.
And a door.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay. The answer's
out of the so you have to in our stuff that we do, there's PPE that we wear. Is there personal protective equipment?
Yes, because for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term PPE,
personal protective equipment, glasses, respirators, ear protection, and stuff like that. There's stuff that's annoying and stuff that isn't annoying, but the one thing that I find is there's one thing particularly that are really annoying when they're older, and I constantly have to replace them, and it's kind of a pain for me. I was wondering if there's like any anything that you have that you're constant, like it's a consumable,
Oh,
but it's
I thought you were gonna make me guess what this thing that is only annoying when it gets old. I'm like,
okay. Well, do you
my
have a guess for that?
safety glasses
Nope.
because they get all
Yes, but not.
scratched and
But
you can't see anything.
yeah, but I have no. That's not what I was thinking.
Um, I don't know.
Welding gloves. Because when you're welding and they get the finger too close, no. Okay, you get the finger too close and you burn the leather. It tightens the leather and it gets crusty. So then, the more you use the welding gloves, the more shrunken the fingers become and more crusty the fingers become. So they go from this nice, soft, supple leather to like, oh yeah, and you feel like you can manipulate everything to this like Evil Dead like hand thing that you're trying to stick your hand in.
Yeah, no, I don't weld.
Okay, but I
So
was
I
wondering,
wouldn't
do
have,
you
yeah, but
have?
yeah, I can see that. Um, it's not PPE. Um, like to answer the question as to like, what do I gotta replace, fix somewhat regularly, and it's really annoying to do, but you do got to do it.
Yeah.
My punching block. So anytime
Yes.
because I punch out a lot of, you know, circles or things of copper, and so I use an end grain block. I'm pretty cheap, so it was really nice to use a hardwood like oak or ash or something like that. But I frequently use just a end cut off of a 4x4.
Yeah.
Um, but after you've used it so long, you don't have to throw it out. You just have to cut the top off because the indents aren't that deep. But I
Right.
got it. This is part of my issues. My workshop's down in the basement. I have to bring it out to the chop saw and line it up, make sure I'm deep enough that I'm not catching any of the metal chunks as I'm using the chop saw, and so I leave it a lot longer than I should. um, but that
And it,
one's mine.
and it just gets shorter and shorter as you
It
keep
gets
cut.
shorter and shorter, but again, I it's just cut off like 4x4 cut off, so
Yep.
I just get a new 4x4, or I have another build project and I get one. But yeah, it's just maintaining those is a pain in my behind. But yeah, there you
Cool.
go. But not PPE.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, I've got like a couple pairs of welding gloves here, and they're still nice and supple, and
Yeah.
so I
Well,
think,
the thing with welding, you can get the big, like the ones that you have when we were doing the casting. Those are big and bulky. They tend to be for stick welding or arc welding because there's no fine manipulation in it. And then when you're so the point of this whole thing is when you're TIG welding, you have to be able to, like, you're using like your fingers you have to be very dexterous. Is that a
yep,
word?
that's good. Yep.
Um, so you can't use those big clunky gloves. So imagine like trying to draw a picture with those welding gloves on, right? You just
Yeah. Oh
can't
yeah.
do it. So
I get it.
so you got to get so I kind of use the generic thinner welding gloves because I'm not going to buy fancy TIG welding gloves because it's a difference of $20 to like $60 just in case you're wondering.
Good to know.
And then when they get all crusty, musty, I would be like, grr. So anyway, just bought myself a new pair, and they're like, it's the same. It's funny, they're the same brand, same size, and the difference in them is nuts.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even again, I don't weld. I was unaware that there was different varieties. Makes
there,
sense.
there you go.
Okay, here you go. Here's a joke for you. It has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about.
Okay.
Ready for it?
Yep.
So a rabbit, a priest, and a minister go to give blood. And the rabbit walks up to the nurse, and the nurse looks at us like, "Do you know what blood type you are?" And the rabbit looked at him and went, "I think I'm a type O."
Yeah.
It takes you a second, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I was going like, where is there rabbit and me?
I know I
Okay.
did the same thing when I first heard the joke. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
But
Do you want one?
oh,
Just
yeah,
to...
absolutely.
Okay. So do you know koi fish? Okay. They
Yep.
travel in schools of at least 4 fish. It's a defensive technique. Okay. When there's a predator, koi A, B, and C take off, leaving behind the decoy.
But nice. I like that one. Sorry, I'm coughing a little bit throughout the podcast. I was sick like 2 weeks ago, and I've still got this lingering cough in it. It's really annoying.
Mm,
I
the long
apologize.
COVID.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I know. It just doesn't want to go away. Okay, Eggle time.
Eggle time.
Eggle time. So this is relating to my piece of artwork, my wonderful piece,
Okay.
Monster in the Closet.
Yep.
What is one of the odder or weirder things in your closet right now?
Hmm. In my closet, like my bedroom
In
closet.
a closet in your house. You can pick any closet you like in your house. Do you want me to go
Ooh.
first, as you were
Yes,
thinking?
please. Well, I think yes.
So in our coat closet in our foyer, I have a walking stick, and that doesn't sound all that odd, but it's actually a walking stick from when I climbed Mount Fuji, and it's a neat little thing that you can buy this like really expensive walking stick that's just a piece of wood, like it's a piece of pine. I think it was like $30 to buy this walking stick, which sounds really dumb, but as you're going, they've got these little huts at all these different levels. And if you have one of these sticks, as you go to the levels, they have a brand, like a burning brand, and they will brand in a different image at every stop. So if you don't make it to the top, you don't your stick isn't completely covered. But if you do make it to the top, it's got this whole really cool pattern to it, and it's really really neat. And it has that kind of like, hey, I had to work, like I had to walk a lot to get these. So that's my I won't say it's the weirdest thing in my closet, but it's the one that came to mind.
Hmm. I have a lot of weird things in a downstairs closet. Uh, I don't know what would be the weirdest thing I have in my
It doesn't have to be
closet.
weird. It's just one of the weird, odd things.
Um, a vast selection of random costumes, some of which I've never worn. Uh, so historical reenacting. I have sailor and soldier costumes, and likewise and stuff. I have some Halloween costumes and such. But there's a couple costumes in there that I planned to do something with, and then never actually wore them. Including there's an elf costume in there. A 6 foot elf doesn't really work out.
Like Will
Uh,
Ferrell from Elf, sort of idea.
Yeah, but it's not that costume. I got it before then, so it's actually red. It's like a
Uh,
red and yeah, I think it's red and green, but it has the feet and the stuff. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. An elf costume that I've never worn.
there you go. What you should take a picture of yourself in your elf costume for our Christmas challenge, and you can post it with there. That way you
I
can use it.
am not digging that out of the very back crevices of my. not
Where's
not
your sense
happening.
of adventure?
Not happening. Um, we have our next challenge coming up in March, which actually I'm kind of excited about, because March Mammal Madness is coming out, and uh, we have different champions. If you're not familiar,
Oh,
do you want
the
to explain
bracket
March
is
Mammal
already
Madness, or
dropped.
or
Oh, I am very. I introduced you to March Mammal Madness,
yeah, I know.
but if you are not familiar with it, check it out. Most people are familiar, at least most people in North America are familiar with March Madness, the the college basketball tournament that goes down in the States. But the University of Arizona originally started this,
Yeah.
and a couple of the biologists got together and made March Mammal Madness. Same setup, same bracket for quadrants and the whole damn thing. I think it even goes into the same schedule as the actual basketball tournament, but it's all mammals. And then they went the next step further and they got experts in like evolutionary biology and all of the experts they could get for those silly, like, who's going to win a fight between a shark and a lion, actually broke it down and say, well, if this is the habitat and this is your prime, and there's lots of science that goes into it.
Yep.
And it's been going for, I don't know how many years now. We've been
A,
doing it.
a long time, yeah.
Yeah. And now we are no longer only mammals. Now there are everything from, insects and fish and birds and all those things.
Yep.
But every year, check it out. The bracket's already dropped. Just put in March Mammal Maddness, and you have to choose out of this year's competitors who is the champion.
So I just finished all my bracketing for all of the things.
Who do you got going all the way?
I have honey badger going all the way.
Ooh.
Because honey badger just don't care. Like,
I know they don't. Yeah, no, my wife and my youngest both had the honey badger going all the way.
Yeah.
But my eldest and I decided it was going to be the hippo because they are mean.
They are mean, but honey badger don't care. I got a joke for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Honey badger don't care.
Terrible joke. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hippo just ate your honey badger.
No, not happening. Not happening. So, our March challenge isn't to build our grand champion, but we kind of have
because I don't want to make a hippo.
Yeah. And I didn't want it to influence what we were going to make and who we were going to build, like I really want to make a cicada killer, so he's got to be my grand champion type of thing.
Yeah.
So we decided that we would choose somebody in the middle. So each one of the brackets has 16, and they're all ranked.
They're ranked just like in the basketball tournament.
Yeah. So then we have the middle would be 8. So plus or minus on either side. So we said 6 to 10.
So it had to be seed 6 or 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah. And we get to choose one of those. And we're making, I actually have a couple questions. We're making a trophy? Or
yeah, hey, I love how you asked that as a question. I'm like, this was your idea. What do you mean? Have you forgotten your idea? Yes, it has to be. It doesn't actually. I don't think it has to be like a trophy per se, but it has to be in that trophy pose or like that triumphant pose. You don't have to make a pedestal.
Okay.
Well, I don't. Or do we have to make a pedestal?
No. This was my question. If I happen to make a pedestal, to put because most trophy toppers you were talking about, right? It was kind of like a trophy topper come on like a little wood placky dewey. If I make the wood placky dewey, am I going to eat it for making the wood placky dewey better than you?
Well, it depends if you win or lose. Okay, no, wait. I can put it on a plaque or a pedestal or a plinth or whatever it is.
I think it has to be like as you would be presented, the MMM, which is March Mammal Maddness trophy, as you would be presented that as a full thing.
Okay. Right. I got to make a plinth.
But I will refrain from wood turning like a big cup and putting him on top and whatever. So. Okay,
here it is. It has to be on something, but the image can't have your wooden base on it. So
yeah.
Fine. No, I don't care. I'm good with that. It'll be a good challenge. It pushes my woodworking. I'm good with that.
Do you want me to bring my router up to visit?
Hmm?
Do you want me to bring my router up to visit? You can.
Or I can come down to visit with your router, with your wood turner.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What is your? Because you went with seed 6, seed 7.
I forget what seed it is. I'm going with the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger.
Good extinct animal. Yeah, very nice. All right. See, whereas I am going, I think it's a seed 10, so the lowest seed of the set. And it's going to be the shrike.
The butcher bird, eh?
Yeah. So, and the side goal, because people are going to vote, and that's going to determine the winner. But the side goal is to see whose choice goes further in the bracket.
Do we get any extra points for it, or No?
Maybe. It
Bragging
depends.
rights?
If mine goes further and I lose, I get bonus points.
Yeah, right. If mine does, then no, that wasn't
No.
agreed upon. Yeah, I get it. I'm
Yeah.
ahead of you. I get it. It's fine.
So yeah, but that's a good decision or good discussion. If you win the vote and the other person gets further in the bracket, is it a tie?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
Because there would have to be a tiebreaker. If we had a tiebreaker somehow, I'd be down. But
Well, we've had ties before without tiebreakers. We've
I
had
know
4 ties.
it's been a while. It's been over a year.
Well, yes, it's hard to tie. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I think there's more casting in my future to do that. Being 3D like on a trophy, it's although I could do like the wall plaque idea. That's also a possibility.
I had that thought as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is it going to be triumphantly standing atop a grasshopper and being like da da?
See, I'm always thinking like the German eagle with the wings flared up and looking to the side.
Yeah.
So, although again, it needs to look like a shrike. This is the.
Well, I'm concerned about because thylacines have their smile gape thing, like the biggest opening of. So, I believe they're also known as smilodons. But
I did not. I hadn't heard that.
I believe that's one of the things. So I was like, oh, I could do it with its mouth, like blah, right? But I'm like, at that point, is it actually going to look like anything, or is it just going to look like this, like Beetlejuice-like character with its mouth like flailed open, and then I got to make a tongue and the thing that hangs at the back of the throat? I'm not doing it. It's not happening.
The uvula.
I knew it had a word. I can't spell it, so I wasn't going to pronounce it.
That little mini. Okay, speaking of spelling, I'm sorry. So
I know I did that.
Every month we do this. We have a little file folder that we put everything in, and we name it the name of the challenge, which this month is Fierce Courage. And I looked at him like I didn't actually know what you wrote at first. I'm like, what is that? Apparently, according to Andrew, Fierce is FERSE.
I did that on my phone quickly to throw my picture in the file, and I knew I was going to eat it. And I was like, I'm not going to bother looking up this obscure word. I have no idea where the I goes in this word. I'm just going to remove it. Mess it.
See, that was the problem. That was why you couldn't get inspired. You couldn't spell the name of the competition.
Yeah, my Google search wasn't coming up with anything.
Yeah.
All good.
So that's the next month. So looking forward to our March Mammal I can't speak. March Mammal Madness Trophy.
Awesome. And this one posted on the 27th, so go and check that out. Yep.
You check it out and vote for whichever you prefer, which is going to be mine.
It's mine.
On Brothers in Smithing.
Well, good luck.
All right. You too, sir. Have a good night.
See ya.